Okay, and we're live. So we're playing some Lamentations of the Flame Princess today. I should probably do this thing. Boop. Played some Lamentations. I'm testing out some house rules for a campaign that I'm preparing, so I wanted to do that today with a short adventure. This is called Smile With Us, Friend, and it is by Violent Media, and it's kind of a fun little adventure. So our players will be hired by an unscrupulous baron to take care of some family member that is not exactly living up to the standards that they believe they should be. So we start in kind of a small-ish city, not so much a town, but not a huge city, called Runeblack. It's kind of a southern part of the United Kingdom. It's rainy. It's the fall, and gathered in an inn with the full of smoke, with the sitting back having some warm beverages when your contact arrives. He's easily identified because nobody wears a robe, cloak that costs that much in this part of town. He's clearly nobility trying to pretend he's not, and sits down at your table. He knows you from some pre-assigned thing that you guys had figured out. Maybe you have a rose at your table or something. And he sits back and he observes the three characters, kind of eyeballs you, and he says, "My late brother's wife, as you know, has inherited her land, his great wealth, his stables, and his title. And a title is not something that is easily taken. It stays with you till death, if you will." He reaches inside of his cloak and puts a small sack or bag, maybe the size of like a grapefruit, bursting with coin, on the table and slides it towards you. And he says, "The proposition is simple. Head to the town of Hoverkill. From there, enter into the lair of this cult that she has joined. Smiling cult." He spits on the ground. "And bring me back proof that she is no more. Her head should do." He leans back. "And 10 more of these will be yours." He looks across the table at Rush's character, who I don't know the name, and you can introduce your character. And did you miss all that? I'll do Young, because Young was here. Well, he looks across at this older woman sitting across the table. And how do you react to this, Edna?
She says, "You want us to make it bloody or make it clean, do you?"
"Make it dead."
"Consider it done." And she nods firmly.
Okay. He looks over at the heavily bearded gentleman consuming large quantities of food and beverage.
Yes. So, Rolf sits at the table. He's wearing his leather armor and his tunic. He's sitting there eating and picking at his fingernails with a dagger. He looks over at Edna as she asks about making it clean or bloody, and kind of looks at her in a half worried look, half concerned look. Edna always did kind of make him a bit uneasy, but he's used to seeing women of that kind of ilk in the Northlands. And then he looks back over at what's the guy's name again? That
he didn't introduce himself, but you know who he is. He is Abe Wallace, Abraham Wallace, Sir Abraham Wallace. At that.
So he says, "You want us to kill, and you offer 10 coins."
I mean, 10 bags of corn.
Oh, 10 bags.
Yeah, the bag that's sitting in front of you probably has. I mean, if it's full of gold, you think it probably has at least 250 gold pieces in it.
Oh.
I mean, you didn't count it, but.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. So.
I know that they don't teach you to count and read. 10 bags, my friend.
10 bags.
That'll buy you plenty of drink and women.
But this woman, I won't be bought by a brute like this.
It would be the best day of your life, woman. And he turns back. He says, I accept.
So he looks over at the third member of the party. He says, and you? Oh, he's gone. The magician vanishes from the table. Okay. So he, at that, he tells you that in 4 days, he'll meet you at the Torat Bridge. You would know a few things. Number one, that he's come quite a distance to meet you, probably about 6 days ride from the east of here. So like he came out to meet you. Where you're going is kind of about a day or so. And then the bridge another couple of days from there. So you're looking at about a 3 day, if he didn't stop to do anything, about a 3 day journey to get to where he wants to meet you in 4 days. And he gets up, he of course leaves that bag there. You see him, he walks to the bar, says something to the barkeep, then walks out, and the barkeep comes with trays of drink and says, anything you've bought so far and anything you have tonight is paid for. Tony, if you're stable, do you want to intro your character? You're sitting at the table with these guys.
Yeah, you see very well-dressed, well-manicured male that would appear probably late 30s or early 40s with kind of a creased brow himself, but he has this manicured mustache, and he's holding this walking cane across his lap, and at the top of it, it's got the head of what appears to be a golden lion, but it's probably really made out of brass. And after hearing his two companions agree to this, he'll look to it and go, Sir Wallace, we'll make sure that once the deed itself is complete, I will use my specialty of psychomancy, and I will make sure and communicate with the soul of your dead sister-in-law, and I'll make sure she remembers nothing that happened and nothing that transpires. I will give her the easiest passing to the other life that I can. I'm going to play Sir Emerson Lynch, the magic user that specializes in psychomancy. Oh, you're muted, Daniel.
He kind of nods in like a way that he appreciates what you said, but you can kind of see in his eyes that he really doesn't care for her or what you do to her. He just wants her out of his way, and he leaves the inn. As soon as he steps outside, you actually hear a carriage move away. Those probably waiting for him, and the rest of the inn it's not so late that it's empty, but not so early that it's bright out. So it's nighttime, and food is brought, like I said, to the table, and you essentially have this laid out in front of you. I mean, you know the area a little bit, so if you want to ask me general questions about it, but like I said, you're going to travel to the east to this town, Hoverkill, which you've not been to, but it's a small town, so you have a village really. But you know this bridge though, because it's right near a very large mill. that's that's the major mill for that area. People bring their stuff over to get it milled, during that time of year. And this bridge is a large expanse that goes across the major river. And like I said, it's about if you were just to get in horses and go there, it's about 3 days away. So you're gonna roughly have a day or so to get this done in order to meet the schedule.
Do we have horses? Or
Yeah, you can have horses. Okay. It'll take that long with horses.
Well, the food looks good, and the booze is paid for. I say we drink. We get started in the morning. The sooner we get on the way, the sooner we get it done.
As soon as he finishes that, you see Edna with her mouth full already, chewing a bunch of stuff. In front of her, you see a pile of cheese and meat and everything, and this frail old woman, scrawny little old woman, with extraordinary amount of wrinkles on her face. She's, for some reason, she's wearing constant scowl, and her hair is covered in black scarf, but you see her basically stuff her face.
We will go when we're done eating here. And, tomorrow morning sounds about right.
Woman, you look like a man who's just of age.
Have I told you the time that I met our king?
You have not, but I will gladly grab a pint and listen to your tale. It has to be amusing.
Well, I was toiling in the fields, and he rode up to us, and he said, "I'm your king." So I told him, "Well, I didn't vote for you."
So it's been years since Edna toiled on the field. Since the chance meeting with the king, Edna has ventured far and wide and engaged in violent and questionable activities. Hence, you see her here.
It's questionable. It's a good one. So you guys are enjoying the Edna's stories, and a minstrel is playing, and the inn is warm and smoky. The doors open up, and this man comes in kind of ragged clothes. He's got a bowl, kind of like a beggar, and he kind of walks in. He's looking around, and you can see people look at him, and then kind of look away for the most part. The barkeep even sees him, but doesn't make any move to get rid of him. He just kind of looks like doesn't want to make eye contact with this guy, who seems to be walking around, kind of through the area, just kind of looking around. And then suddenly he goes into a coughing fit. He pulls his cloak up and on his knees he's coughing. You almost think maybe it's not going to end. It seems to go on for so long. And then he holds the cloak out in front of him. Almost my camera. And he looks. And he gets up and he looks and he stares directly at your table. And he says, "The gods of consumption have spoken. I have what you need."
Do we recognize him at all, or
you've never seen him before? You are a magic user, so try to roll under your intelligence on a d20. We'll say to see if you have any idea what.
Yep, 7 out of 14.
Yeah, so you've heard of these prophets of consumption. They're basically men who are dying, and the gods speak through their blood that they cough up. So probably whatever he's got on the cloak is blood, and somehow is related to you. It seems like that's what he's saying. Anyways,
Edna nudges
Emerson
and says, "Ooh, who is that young strapping fella?" And she genuinely looks very interested in that man.
Emerson will pull out this white handkerchief and kind of pop it in the air, and he says, well, come and share what you will with us, but here, and he hands the handkerchief out to the gentleman as he walks over, knowing of what he does know, but he does not share that information with Edna and them yet.
Yeah, he comes over and he reaches and takes the handkerchief and he kind of like wipes some of the blood that's kind of down his mouth, and he's got the cloak kind of closed, and he says, "It looks to be a map for you."
Directions in blood.
And
I look over at Sir Lynch. Just kind of wrinkle my nose.
he says, "Donations are always appreciated." And he puts his cup with his beggar cup in front of you.
Edna grabs his hand and says, "How about a night with old Edna here?" And she winks.
Oh, you grab his hand? Okay. Make a saving throw versus poison.
Oh my god.
Whoops. That'll alert you.
Oh man. I think that made it.
Don't take candy from strangers, Edna.
19.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Okay.
Yeah, she's used to. Yes.
Yeah, you're used to various diseases and stuff. He just kind of looks at you, probably a little confused because not that many people are willing to touch him. But he shakes the bowl, like a beggar would, and he says, "Love making doesn't pay the bills. Well, unless you're a hooker, and I'm not."
I look over at Edna and I say, "Edna, this one is sickly and ill."
He's strapping and fine to me, but here you go, sonny boy.
Pulls out a little coin and flips it over and puts it into that cup. She has given him 1 silver coin.
He kind of scowls, and he looks at the bag of money that's sitting on the table.
And she takes up that map and looks at it. She hands it over to Rush's character and says,
What do you make of this?
Well, there's no map. It's actually just blood that he spit up on his cloak. He's holding it closed.
Oh, okay.
So that you can, I mean, unless you want to try to take his cloak from him. Typically, 20 gold pieces is a good, good tip for prophecies these days. It's a big city; things are expensive. I got a wife and 3 kids, dog, got to take care of.
I could buy a horse with that, and horses are expensive.
All right.
That's true. However,
Okay.
this information is very valuable.
I'll make you a deal. I'll use your map, and if I come back and your map was useful,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you 10 now.
Well, Wednesday night.
When I come back, I'll
Wednesday
give you
night,
double
I will.
that
I'll be
if
able
your
to,
map
because
was of use.
So
So
I'm taking.
if your map is as useful as you say, you will end up with 30
No,
pieces
funny
of gold,
thing is
not
I
20.
had originally requested it off because
He looks at you and he says,
to come visit us.
"It
So-
was foreseen that I would give you the map." And he kind of lays his cloak down, open on the thing, and you see this like bloody. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see it. He then snaps the white handkerchief that you gave him, Sir Emerson, and places it on top of it, and like rubs his hands on it, and then flips it over so he made a copy of it, and he leaves it on the table, and it looks like, if I can screen share, let's see if I can do this without. This.
Because if I
And he takes your 10 gold and he walks away.
I look over at Sir Lynch. I'll just say, I assume you would want to carry this thing. Sir Lynch is gone.
He keeps going. Yeah, he keeps getting bumped. Oh, I'm there twice now. Oh, I'm sure on the screen I see. Yeah, he says that he keeps getting bumped, so he might. He's the invisible man. He'll come and go. I guess we're just gonna keep going.
I
Unfortunately,
want not to eat that pie. It looked like it's about 3 days old.
what
But
pie?
what do you think of this? It looks like some sort of a spider web.
Edna scratches her chin and turns around and looks at your character, Rush.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
I had to switch to my headset because Michelle's doing something over there.
They really do, and they just don't seem to.
Nothing I do keeps me. So I'm sorry. Did Edna ask me a question or?
Yeah,
Yeah, she said that it looks like some kind of a spider web, and she doesn't know what to make of it.
So Rolf leans over the map and says,
I'd already had
yes,
cases from
I can see that. And then I point to the right-hand side of the map and I say, this looks like
I had other stuff I was trying to wrap up.
a trail
And,
that leads
like
possibly
Josh,
into a cave.
I talked to Josh
And
yesterday, 'cause I
these
thought
may
one
be
of those,
tunnels that are dug this way.
you know,
It's the only
By the way, Daniel, did the
afternoon,
prophet
but I hadn't looked on
flip it and then press it down, or I mean, is it the same orientation or is it
that we need
flipped?
to get this done right away.
Because
So,
if it's blood,
yeah.
it's Josh.
Yeah, you're looking at it currently the way that it was for him because he turns the thing so it's the right way for you.
okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So I was
So it's not a mirror image now.
yesterday,
Okay.
and I couldn't
So-
Yeah, he says,
Do we even have time to bother with this? Tomorrow we have to travel to the
And
bridge.
I was able to get at the closing market. I said, but I'm afraid to do.
We'll take it
anything
with
else
us.
because I don't want to.
If it turns out to be useful, I'll make good on my word.
And I was on
if
the
it
phone
turns
with him
out
for
to
a little
be
while. He told me, he says,
Useless, then
really
I'll
need
be
to
seeking my
take care
10
of these
gold
cases. He says,
coins
"Please don't
back
let them
again."
sit out there." And he
Well,
said,
I-
Worried about killing that sister-in-law of the person that hired her.
on that. I said, yeah. I said, I just.
Yes,
I
of
said,
course.
you're a bitch.
and continues to stuff her face.
I had other-
So I'm gonna take the
But,
like,
so I was
pick
trying to be
the
really-
cloth up
I
and
was
just
trying
kind of try and get it to
today about
dry.
it because-
Okay.
Once it gets nice and dry, I'll just kind of roll it up and just stuff it into a pouch.
Okay, yeah, you totally can do that. When you spend the rest of the night drinking or doing whatever else you're going to do, and if you want, in the morning, you've got your bills already settled. He paid for, the night there and all the food and everything. If this is, like I say, like a small city, so if there's anything you want to pick up, you have horses. But if there's anything else you wanted to buy that maybe you don't have, you can just throw it on your equipment sheet or whatever. You've got plenty of money now to do that for the money he gave you.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Do we buy like potions to,
Potions?
potions like antidote or healing potions or anything like that?
What game are you playing? Have you ever been able to buy a healing potion in one of my games? No.
Good.
He said good.
Kids these days.
All right.
You lose a level. No. This is like a low magic area. There's no healing potions.
Good.
This world is low magic. You would know if Tony's character comes back, you'll see the magic system is much different. So it's very low magic. So you don't have there's not even like, you can't even be like healed at churches and stuff. There's rumors that some people have mental abilities that allow for healing, but that's all rumored, and they'd probably kill those people if they found out about it.
Yikes.
Cool.
All right. So, assuming that there's nothing else you need in town, you mount up on your horses. In very Gandalf style, the wizard tells you that he'll pop in and out as needed, and you head towards the town of Overkill. It's a good day's travel, so you probably leave in the morning after having like a hearty breakfast. Like I said, it's the fall and it's rainy. It rained all night, but it's not raining now, but there's large puddles on the road, and you're kind of heading out. People aren't really. Most of the harvest has been brought in, so most people are not coming out in this weather unless they need to. So you find that the roads are actually pretty clear. They're ruddy from the many wagons that travel down. But then as you kind of come off the main road as you're traveling, and you're now coming down the smaller, less used roads towards the small village you're heading towards, there's kind of hilly areas, and it's a little bit out of the way. You see some manor houses and larger farms as you're kind of traveling through the countryside. Let's see. Yeah, it's a pretty uneventful day. I mean, you travel pretty much all day. You stop maybe and eat some hardtack that you brought with you, or drink at a stream, or do that kind of thing. But you don't really encounter anybody worth engaging with. I mean, that's always close to you, anyways. Until you come upon the small village, and you kind of, it's typical village thing. You start seeing some smaller farms that are closer together. And you can see them getting closer and closer together, and then you can see like a kind of a downtown area where you kind of come into this crossroads, and there's kind of a flattened out street, no cobblestones or anything. It's all dirt. You see an inn, the Soaked Plum Inn, and you see your typical blacksmith and various places like that. But there's no like generic store. In a town this small, you figure that they probably get together and do like the swapping, once a month or whatever, or on a Sunday. So, you see like workers, but you don't see any kind of, we'll say, a generic building that you'd want to go to, except for the inn, basically.
Rolf, do you know the name of the person that we're supposed to kill?
Did he get?
Yeah, her name is Gwendolyn Wallace. She is the widow of Sir Fredrick Wallace. And you know that he died about a year ago. They've only been married, even though they're not young by any means. Like, she's an older lady, but they've only been married like maybe 5 years.
No.
He had an earlier marriage. You know some of this because these are famous people. He had been married, when he was younger, and had a few no children with the young bride that he had, who then passed away. And then he was basically a bachelor for a long time, and he married this woman maybe 5 years ago, and then he died about a year ago.
Do we know how old she is?
I mean, you know that she's probably like in her late 30s, early 40s.
Oh, okay.
So it's she's fairly. I mean, for middle ages, she's pretty old.
Yeah. So I would look at Edna and I say, Gwendolyn, Lady Gwendolyn Wallace. We have to try and inquire about her without raising suspicion, though.
How do you suppose we do that? I was hoping Sir Lynch to do most of the talking, but if we walk into the town looking like we do now, all soaked and wet with weapons, we'd be the prime suspect.
We look like simple travelers. I would say we could pretend to be suitors, but I'm an ugly man.
Oh my god.
I have a charisma of 7. So
Funny.
I wouldn't be very convincing, I'm afraid. However, Sir Lynch, he's prettier than most women I know. So perhaps that would work for him.
Well, he's not here now, is he? And I think you look just fine.
He kind of chuckles at her and say, "For now, I say we get we tie the horses get into a place that's dry.
For the record, Edna's charisma is 8, so
Nice.
she's just as ugly.
We're both crones. I think we should get into the inn and see what we see and get a belly full of warm drink.
Warm drink sounds fantastic. She hobbles into the inn, and she looks around.
Okay, so you walk into the inn, and it's again, this is a village, so this inn is kind of like it's a single floor, but then there's kind of like a loft area where you can see maybe they have storage or whatever. That you've probably stayed in these places before. Essentially, after a certain time of night, they slide the tables to the side, and you pay a few copper, and you sleep on the ground in this room. Like it's a big, gigantic room with a hearth in the middle. You also notice that there's a decent amount of people.
Oh, there you
that
are.
are
I want to show you
that are eating here. So you figure that it's the kind of place where maybe like the villagers that don't have farms or maybe that don't have families come and like have their evening meal. So it's pretty lively. With people eating and stuff. Like there's large tables and people are set up and they're serving turkey or something. They got like a large something where they're serving it out. And you kind of looking around. I mean, people look up when you come in, but they don't overtly stare at you. You see to the left as you come in, there's like kind of a bar area where you could sit. There's also a long table where most of the people are sitting that are eating, and there's a few other tables that are kind of scattered around.
Edna makes a beeline to the bar, and she sits down there.
I'll take the stool next to her.
She pulls out a tinderbox and fiddles with it and says, "Who's gonna bring an old lady some tobacco?"
The bartender looks at you and he says, "Tobacco, huh?
Something to smoke, my young man."
It looks so awesome.
Let me see what I got." So he goes down to the end of the bar and he opens up a cabinet and pulls out a box. He's got some tobacco in there and he brings it forward and he gives you he said, "Do you have a rolling?" Like he gives you like a rolling paper and puts tobacco next to you.
Yep.
And
I did a couple of the old.
he says something to drink.
The heck of it.
Something dark and fizzy.
But she had mostly.
He turns around and gets you a beer.
Of the tokens.
She takes a sip and fiddles with the tinderbox and lights it up and takes a big puff and says,
"So, it's a nice town you got here."
We like to think so.
"We're just passing through."
and she nudges at Rolf.
Yeah. I'm escorting my old Aunt Edna
I
here,
got this from.
keeping her safe
I
on the
did
road.
the.
He's a good boy.
No.
For a woman like me, braving the road alone would be a murder.
Yeah, well, we're pretty safe around these parts, but I agree. Always better to travel in pairs or larger. Every once in a while, you have some issues with some wolves, that kind of thing. You kind of looked. Are you wearing this giant sword?
No, she actually has the sword back in the,
On the horse.
Yeah, on the horse.
Okay.
She doesn't have a weapon on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, but like I said, it's pretty safe here. Are you looking just to stay the night? I don't think you should be traveling at night. We clear some space for travelers to sleep. There's a few other travelers that'll be staying as well. He kind of points to the corner. There's some people sitting at a table. They look like merchants or something.
Yeah, Edna scowls, and then, with one eye nearly closed, she squints and, looks at those scallywags on the side.
Yeah.
Do they
I mean, they're
look
kind of off to the side, so they're slumped somewhat in the darkness. I mean, there's a candle on their table. They look like, they're kind of chubby. So they're clearly merchants, they're not workers. They're dressed in relatively nice clothes, although they're dirty because they've probably been on the road.
She leans over to Rolf and says,
I bet you can take them.
He just kind of grunts. He looks over at the bartender and he says, and he kind of rubs his hand on the top of the bar there. He's like, "It's a farming village. Yes?
Let's see.
Yes, we are a small village. Like I say, we're on the crossroads here, so like most villages, so people will pass by. So I have my decent business here. We have some blacksmiths and a few other people that help facilitate for the manor.
Yeah.
The Wallace Manor on the hill. They take care of us. It's a pretty good life here.
And so the Wallace, I'm from up north, and I don't know how much
I picked it up. but
I've
I-
ever
I
dealt with
didn't
Northmen. We fight, but we also are excellent farmers. And I've never been down to these parts. And I did notice the land here did look
Going over to
it looked rich, like rich soil. So the Wallace, you say the Wallace Manor, they are the lords of this place.
That's correct.
Oh, I see.
They take care of us. We
The famous
provide.
William Wallace?
I'm sorry.
No,
The Lord's name.
I didn't yet.
It's Wallace, but was it William or John? I forget.
Fredrick Wallace. Unfortunately, he passed not too long ago. So
Oh,
his widow Gwendolyn is our
Like
lady.
like
As it would be.
resources
I see.
so the woman is running the show there.
and
Well, she has advisors, and
Well,
But yes, unfortunately, they had no children, so we're not sure what will happen when the land passes. But the Wallace family is large, and they own many acres. So probably somebody else from the family will come. They've always taken good care of us.
I see.
I see.
Been my experience that the women
but we
women
have
do
go,
tend to rule a fair hand.
rush
So
truck, 'cause,
it does not shock me that you say you've been well taken care of. That's excellent. That's excellent.
and also-
Do you have land for sale here? Like, who would one? Would we speak to the Wallaces at the manor if we were interested in purchasing? If I say we're interested in purchasing land for a farm, is that what I would see?
No. Yeah, we went over
Yes, you would need to go through them, or back to one of the bigger cities where the landholders handle such things. We don't really own the land so much as live here. We lease it, as it would be. But to own land in this part, so you need to be part of the royal elite,
Oh well, yeah.
unless you are Sir.
No. No, I simply mean I wish to have a home and a farm. So if I was to wish to have that here, I would speak with Madam or the Lady Wallace.
You could do that, and she's normally in town. Although the last several weeks she hasn't been here so much. She comes to town quite often, but lately not so much. I haven't seen her in a while, so perhaps she's ill.
Well, that's
It's that time of year.
Okay, so where are we going?
no idea where she may be. Then.
Well, she'll likely be in her manor.
Well, I know a few things about herbs. If she's ill, maybe I could visit her and impart my wisdom upon how to get better.
You can certainly try. I've never been to the manor house. It's it's not my station to do such
So
things.
long as there's some compensation for helping her, I would be willing to try.
The compensation will be to hopefully be granted land for a farm. Don't be too greedy, Aunt Edna. And I reach over and
And he says,
pat her
I
on the
made
back,
you-
and then I look back at the
turned
bartender
you
and
into
just
a
kind of
bug.
go,
Oh, have more ambition. You always want more wealth, especially when dealing with people who are as wealthy as Williams.
I do too.
well, you have to
Small
start
one.
somewhere. Thank you very much. I'll have a glass of your best spirit.
Yeah, he pours you a drink, and he starts helping other customers, but comes back periodically to check on you if you need anything from him. He does come back after he kind of looks out the windows, and you can see that it's dusky now. It's starting to get a little dark, and he says, He kind of looks at Edna and then kind of like turns away from her a little bit and says to Rolf, says, if you or your aunt might need to use the facilities outside, it would probably be good to do it before it gets dark because we generally lock up after dark. There's been some purveyors of religion that we don't like to answer the door for. So generally, it's better to not go out at night.
Hmm.
You know the religious types.
Oh, indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. I lean over toward it and I say, Aunt Ed, I know that you typically have an iron stomach and a bladder of stone, but perhaps you should go and take care of your business before the man locks up. They have religious people that come around knocking upon doors, and we all know how much that irritates you.
Oh, St. Cuthbert's witnesses? No. Let me go. I'll take care of my business. I'll be right back.
And she heads out the door.
So there's facilities in the back, like an outhouse, whatever.
Yeah. While she's outside, she checks on her belongings.
Mm-hmm.
She takes out that sword. It's actually wrapped in a large blanket, so it doesn't look very much like a weapon at all. It looks like a bundle of blanket. Yeah, but she brings that in.
Well,
And she says, I'm all ready.
okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that can be done. Nobody really gives you a hard time. Actually, when you're out there, the bartender actually says to you, right, you have horses. I'm sorry. I was busy. You may want to have the blacksmith take them in so they can be unsaddled and comfortable for the night.
Good point. I'll handle that. And I go to do that. But I have a question while I'm doing that. So while I'm out there and I go to take him over to the blacksmith, I want to look around. So in the crossroads part of the town we're in, are there lots of like shrubberies and bushes and things like that, like easy places to hide? Especially,
I mean, not really. It's pretty. It's like they it's kind of less muddy and dirt where these buildings are.
Okay.
There's some grass growing and stuff, but nothing really super close to the town. It's pretty open, actually.
Okay.
I mean, for hiding, I mean, there's barrels and stuff. There's like troughs for horses, and there's barrels out there. And there's the outhouse.
But that was for me. I think when you're hiding and stuff like that, it uses more of the stealth, which is I think you can use bushcraft if you're hiding in.
Oh, for you? Oh, yeah, for the bushcraft? Yeah, no, not right here. That's not really.
Okay. All right. So I go take the horses in. I wanted to see what I could figure out, but it looks like it's pretty barren. So.
Yeah, it's because it's like farmland, so there's not like a lot of. But the blacksmith is right across the street. You actually catch him as he's locking up. He sees you. He says, "Oh, come in, quick!" Kind of looks at you. He says, "We close up right at sunset because kind of there's these religious types that I don't know what to say. They offer their beliefs to us, and I, for one, am not. I follow. At least twice a year I go to church. But I don't do this other, funny stuff here.
Oh, there's a chest over here.
I mean, no offense.
No, of course.
That's your thing. You don't look like them, though, so you're not.
So, as far as our characters know, though, we would have no reason to believe she's anywhere other than just in the manor, correct?
Well, you know that that she's been well, you know that she's been doing something that is creating a mockery to her station. That's all he said to you. He didn't say anything else. So you don't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Okay.
Edna interjects and says,
This one.
Well, you're not there.
Oh, okay.
You're in the bar if you want to say something to somebody, but you're not the blacksmith.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I'll just finish up locking up. Well, while I'm there, I'm going to ask the blacksmith. Then I'll say, "Hey, I was speaking with the bartender. I was curious about inquiring with the lady Wallace about having some land here to have a farm of my own. And he said that she hadn't been seen much lately, but he thinks that she may be ill or something in her manner.
Well,
Any ideas?
I'm not one to speak of the nobility.
It's just you and
I'd
I.
say that she is much more open, more friendly to open her door than maybe she should be.
Oh, I see.
And that's all I can really, I've got to, let's get this closed here because you know.
Oh, of course.
So you give him a couple silver coins or whatever for the horses. You can leave the saddlebags and everything there if you want, or the saddles.
Yeah, I'll take my my spear and my the stuff that I really am going to need. Grab my backpack and stuff.
Yeah, you can totally do that. And you can go back, and you can see actually when you come back to the tavern, the inn rather, the barkeep's like right at the door, so he's kind of looking up and down the street, and when he sees you coming, he's kind of like,
Okay. So I'll go through the door, and as I go in, I say, "My God, by the gods, man, you look as though these religious
No, he's actually
folk
playing
do they frighten you?"
Oh, there's a chest out.
religion can change a man.
Playing in a
And it's not always for the best.
I give him the one eyebrow
Daniel,
raise,
young
Mhm.
Tony.
I see.
Is Edna there?
Now,
Yeah, you're there.
yeah, you're here now.
Edna says, why does the lady put up with this? Couldn't the lady just drive them out? Decree that these religious
Fine.
folks are bothering the folks of the town.
They're very friendly.
Oh, there you are.
They haven't broken any laws. They're just
Oh my God, he is jumping.
friendly.
Can we see more?
Unsettlingly friendly.
Okay, so he is elemental. So that being said,
What do they look like? Who do they worship?
I have that is strong versus.
That's a good
I
question.
don't ask those kind of questions.
My frog. I'll put my
Yeah,
frog
you don't
in
even know
there.
the god that they worship.
Ooh, I got 2 frogs. So I've got
I mean, it won't
this.
offend me. I have my own
I've
gods.
got a.
I don't know.
And also,
Like I said, I
water jet.
I don't get involved with this. They're friendly. I've heard. I have not seen them. I have to be honest with you. I only hear
Why
things,
are you sleeping?
I see.
but I've been told
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
that they're always
Birds,
Smile.
mists, and
Smile, do they?
smiles.
and
And you see Edna scowl even more viciously.
Yes, I mean to smile on a feast day, or when you get an extra, large crop to come in, or finally marry off your ugly daughter. That's when you smile. To smile all the time. There's something wrong with that. Very, very wrong.
I would agree.
You
Well-
see Edna nod very firmly as Rolf says that.
That is a big frog.
I say we
That is a
we
big
make
ass
our spot on the floor here.
plant.
Yeah, so you're having this conversation, and some people have been leaving, of course, to go back to their houses because it's getting dark. And somebody overhears, and a woman, and she says, "I've heard they're called the Seven. The Seven.
That's weird.
That sounds a little suspicious to me. 7, the 7 days in the week,
Pump, but it says
7 food groups.
dealt.
There's 7 kinds of gold. I have 7 teeth. It's very, very strange."
Dude,
You're very well spoken for a woman with only 7 teeth. I have 15. And then she smiles, and you do see her
abilities.
indeed.
Okay, why
And
not?
he says, maybe you could take a look if there's a little peephole. What do you say, Rolf? Should we look out the hole and see if we can spot these smiling folks?
What's going on?
I don't know.
Edna, scurries off to a corner. Is there a window or anything like that?
Yeah, there's windows.
Yeah, I mean, she sits next to a window.
I mean, they're not glass, clearly, but there's like shuttered windows here.
But if there's like a little hole that she could see through outside to take a glimpse of these religious folks.
Okay, yeah, you can position yourself to watch out the window.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, you're just seeing people go back to the houses. People are scurrying along, to the closer houses. The people that are like the more, the workers that are like in the village. Probably the farmers are already home, you would imagine, because they weren't eating here. And some rooms cleared up on the ground for you guys to sleep. That other group, like you said, those travelers, there's 5 of them. They look like merchants. They're set up in a little corner there, and they put out down nice bed rolls, and and they're setting down to have a private conversation before they go to bed as well.
Edna tries her best to overhear what they're saying.
I'm working on him with my
Yeah, I mean, you could probably listen in on them. I mean, you probably don't necessarily understand all of it. They're talking about basically the trade route that they're doing and how much they bought the sheep for in this place, and they can sell the wool at this price, and they're merchants, so they're talking merchant talk.
Okay.
Nothing tremendously interesting. I mean, as far as unless you're interested in that, but yeah,
okay.
Cool.
You don't mention the religious thing at all, or this town at all.
So I'll just Rolf will just put his bedroll down and just figures unless something happens when these guys come by, he'll just plan to try and go to the manor in the morning.
Okay.
Unless something changes his mind between now and then.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna stay up for a bit and watch for them, Young?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll stay up with her until she's in bed.
So one of you roll a d12.
Oh, D12, okay.
Both of us, or just
No, just
me?
I see what you're doing there, Pledge.
I got 6.
Okay, I mean, you stay up fairly late. Maybe you take turns and stay up the whole night, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Nobody comes and that you can see at all. The streets remain deserted all night.
Okay.
Yeah, in the morning you get up and there's some food. It's like a bed and breakfast or whatever. So they feed you a bit, and if you want to be on your way, you can certainly do that.
Yeah,
it's now day 2.
I'll wake up, kind of rub my forehead, and just be like, "Much ado about nothing."
And, in the corner you see Edna like cracking her knuckles, and she's ready. She heads out. She holds that bundle of
Okay.
So I'm still kind of
hiding her sword, and she goes out there and
to
the horse.
Oh yes, you get your stuff. And you're gonna head to the manor house and try to talk to the lady.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. It's a few miles away. Probably take you half an hour, whatever, if you're not like racing to it on a horse. You follow the path up the hill. Of course, the manor's on the hill, so you come up, and you are seeing some areas of woods around this. But then you come up, and it's kind of cleared. What you do notice as you're coming up the road is there's lots of
which I'll have it before then.
I wouldn't describe it as trash because it looks more valuable than that, but there's you notice things on the side of the road that probably look like they've been dropped there because some of them are broken and stuff, like tables and stuff, but they're in actually pretty good condition. Like they're good, expensive stuff, but for some reason they're just like on the side of the road. You notice a few things like that, like a chair here, a table here, maybe some pillows. You definitely see stuff as you're going up. And when you get up to the top, the manor has like a gate around it. The gate's in the garden, and the gate is wide open. And you kind of go through, and you look, and the front door of the manor's open. There's more kind of this debris, we'll call it, like in the yard. Like this, like it's wet and because it's been raining and stuff, so it's muddy. But you see things like blankets, and there's a couch like half turned over. You see like a tea set like fallen and smashed on the ground. Looks like you can see like drag areas like that. It looks like heavy things were dragged across the ground out into this front yard, out off into off into the side, like not down the road, but off the other direction. Almost like looted.
These wealthy folks have no appreciation for fun. These are perfectly serviceable goods.
I would agree.
You didn't say you got home.
So, yeah, I mean, being the types of people that you are, and with a little bit of investigation around, it looks like a lot of, if not everything, from this place has been taken in a manner that looks like it might have been ransacked.
Mm-hmm.
There are no guards.
Mm-hmm.
You don't encounter any guards, but you're looking around for maybe like an hour or so, and you get a good sense there's nobody here, for the most part, and even like the stable has a couple of horses that look like they haven't eaten, like they're just like they start freaking out when you get in there, but there's food there, but like they haven't been fed, like nobody's been here. You would gather in a bit.
So how?
Yeah.
I would look at Edna and just be like, well, this does not bode well for the people in the town. But it also doesn't bode well for us because I feel our coroner may not be here.
Well, we just need her head. And let's hope that we find her dead inside.
Yeah, I mean, you've looked around, you haven't found her, but as you're kind of in the stables, like maybe you're going to feed these horses because you're not bad people, or maybe you are bad people, but everybody still feed a horse. You're in the stables for a bit having this conversation. You hear some movement in the loft above, and then a head pops over the side. And it's a little girl. She's maybe 10 years old. And she sees you, and then she quickly darts back under the hay.
Edna says, "Who are you?"
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nobody's here.
You just answered, "I am Edna. Who are you?"
Nobody's here.
Oh, come on, little
Come
kid.
back another day.
I put a hand up to Edna, and I just say, hold on 1 second. And I kind of walk over and I say, young lady, I said, you do not have to fear. We are just travelers. We came to visit the lady of the manor to inquire about farmlands. No one's going to hurt you. This is simply me and my Aunt Edna.
Oh boy.
I said,
They took her. They took the lady.
They took her.
Well, took maybe isn't the right word. She went with them.
I see. Where is your mom and dad?
I'm not supposed to be here.
No.
Nobody really pays attention to me. So I just live here. And then I saw them. They took her. Well, she went with them.
You mean the smiling folks?
Yes. They're smiling. The 7.
Oh. Do you know where they live?
In a big hole in the ground.
Can you show me where the hole is?
It's in the ground.
Or maybe can you show me where on the ground it is? Can you take me to the entrance?
It's scary.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, come down. No one is going to hurt you. I promise.
Do you have food?
I do.
Okay, I'm leaving the
We
group.
have lots of food.
Yes.
And Edna goes back to the horse and pulls out a bunch of rations and, holds it up.
She pokes her head over and looks. And she goes back under the hay again, then comes out the other side and climbs down the back. You hear her like scuffling, and she comes around. And she says,
I crouch down so that I'm not towering over top of her.
okay. And she comes forward slowly and she says, I didn't want to steal any food because the lady was always good to me.
Yes.
But I'm very hungry.
Yes.
I heard that she
Well,
was a
did
good
you
woman.
go and talk to
And
Shannon?
that's why I'm concerned.
Oh, okay, because I heard him ask you.
I tell you what,
Over there.
I'll make you a deal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, are you listening?
So,
You show me where this hole is, and I will see if I can go and find the lady and bring her back.
works with.
But
his
I won't
name
make
is
you go
Sean.
inside. You just show me where it is. And then I will put some coins in your hand. And I want you to go back to town and go to the blacksmith and give him the coins and tell him that I sent you and that he is to look after you until I return with the lady. Since your mother and father aren't anywhere around.
Yeah,
Does that
She kind of
sound?
looks around and she says,
yeah, it is a little bit awkward.
And you can even keep one or two of the coins for yourself.
And you can have the sausage. And holds up the sausage that she took from the earlier that morning.
she looks at the sausage and she the coins and she, okay, but I'm not going in the hole in the ground. It's dark.
I would never ask a young girl like you to go in that hole. No, absolutely not. You just need to show me where it is so that I can go find the lady. I'll send you oh, John. You just show me where it is, and then I'll send you on your way with coins and food.
Okay.
You have to promise me that you're going to go to see the blacksmith so that he can help you get someplace safe.
Okay, the blacksmith is very nice.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Okay. Can I eat first?
Yeah, he does.
Yes, you may, of course. In fact, here, I'll sit down and we'll eat together. How does that sound?
But it's just.
Okay. She starts eating.
No,
She looks at you and she says,
But,
you're ugly.
kind of listen to her.
I am.
Yeah.
But I am from the north, and we're all ugly up there.
Yeah.
It's the beard. Some people don't. Some people don't appreciate it. To other northerners, though, my beard is magnificent. But down here, it looks like I have too much hair on my face. But it's okay.
I was scared, but you're nice.
I am nice. And I know I'm ugly, so I am not offended. But you, on the other hand, I reach forward and I just kind of boop her on the nose with my finger, boop like this. But you, however, are a lovely young lass, which is why I want to make sure that you stay safe and you go to the blacksmith.
You're very nice. And she eats.
I sit down and eat with her.
Okay. So let's actually take 5 minutes because I want to get a drink.
Okay. Yep.
My voice, and we'll go to the hole in the ground.
Awesome.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Young, are you there?
Yeah, Shannon's already offered. He says he never cared for Shrek.
Young?
That's
I'm here.
that's what he called him.
All
That's what he calls him.
30 seconds.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds you're still fighting the cold too, there, Daniel.
Yeah. We'll see if I can make it through without my voice.
It's the season, man.
But it was
Yeah.
um,
Okay, so yeah, she accepts the sausage and the offer of the gold and everything, and
okay. I'm gonna
you
go
guys mount your horses
my-
and you head out, kind of through
But yeah, Caitlin's
a path. You know, she says she has a shortcut.
guilty.
You're kind of following this trail through the woods, and you can see, like I had mentioned before, outside the house, there was some areas where things looked like they were dragged. Oh, my tea's ready.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm back, guys.
No problem. As soon as he sat down, his tea, like he could hear his tea kettle going off. He's like, "Oh, my tea's ready." Here, to go get that. He's got one of them old school tea kettles that whistles at you.
That's right. I got a whistling tea kettle.
Those things are awesome, man, because you know exactly when this shit's ready to go.
Exactly. Like,
I love it.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell
I'm always paranoid one day it won't whistle, and then like I just won't check it because I'm so used to it whistling. Okay, so you notice along the trail that she's bringing you, there's like drag marks from like tables and the old legs and stuff, and various other. And you notice things like broken along the way and dropped plates. You know, you see a few like silverware and stuff that looks like whatever meant to value, but you're probably not picking it up on the side of the road right now with this little girl with you. And eventually you open up into basically like a clearing. And all around there's like an area maybe like 30 or 40 foot radius that's like this like kind of a reddish sand, almost like it's got it's just like kind of a reddish brown sand, and it kind of slopes down into a hole in the ground. And she points at it and she says, They live down there.
anime games.
And then you can see that she's kind of shaking a little bit.
Clothes off.
Is this where they come in and out?
That's
Is
the
through
goal
here?
is to take their clothes off.
That's the door.
And
Okay.
doesn't touch it.
So
That's where they go.
I look at Edna to basically like give her the look of, do you have anything you want to ask her, or kind of a thing?
Well, I think we should take the girl back to the town ourselves. You don't want her to walk all by herself, do you? We can come back.
I want us to stay together. And she's like, I don't know.
So I would look at the girl and I say, do you think we should? How long did it take to get here?
What's that?
How long did it take to get here from?
Maybe another like 10 minutes. It probably on horses, it would take you maybe 40 minutes if you're going slow to get back to town. I mean, if you're going fast, you probably get there in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Walking will probably take about an hour.
No, yeah. I look at it and I say that's actually a good idea. I was like, have you ever ridden on the back of a horse?
Ever, no problem. I'll take her.
And then Edna, surprisingly strong, she hoists her up and sets the girl in front, and she starts galloping away.
Come on, catch up with us.
Be careful. Get ready to start yelling. I'm like, oh, shit, that's probably a bad idea. And then I jump up on the horse and immediately take off riding after them.
Okay, so you guys shoot off like a shot back down this path.
And I was like, God damn that woman.
But it's a little tough in the path that you're in, fast, but you do your best, and then you get up onto the open road, and you're able to go fast if you'd like to town. What are you going to do? Just drop her off at the edge of town? Or you want to bring her to the blacksmith?
I'm going to take her straight to the blacksmith, and I'm just going to tell the blacksmith, I'm going to say, listen, we found this young girl at the stables at Lady Wallace's mansion, and I just kind of look at him, and I'll say, and I'll hand him a couple of gold coins as well,
Okay.
and I'll just say, you need to keep quiet, but there's been some issues. I'm on my way back up there to sort them out, but this young girl, and I bring the girl. He says she says she knows you. She trusts you. I said I need you to look after her until I return.
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows. What trouble is it? The religious people?
I don't know yet. So let's get everybody whipped up. Let me go
Trust those religious people.
I don't know that I trust them either, but I'm going to find out. But I just need you to look after her until I return. I gave her some coinage. I've given you some coinage. Let's just let her help out around. I'm sure she would. I looked down at the young girl and I said, I'm sure she would love an opportunity to help around the ship, maybe brush out some of the other people's horses. And what girl doesn't love horses? That kind of.
She's nodding, so she's. I'd like to do that. And he looks, at her kindly. And says, "Okay, we'll give you a little work to do." And he kind of looks at you. He says, "Be careful. If they give you those pamphlets, next thing you know, you're showing up to these meetings."
Yeah. So I extend my hand out to him, and I shake his hand, and I say, "Thank you, brother, for looking after her." I said, "And don't worry about me. My belief in my gods is strong. There will be no pamphlets for Rolf."
Edna peeks in and says, "You have any pamphlets?"
He just kind of looks at the blacksmith and goes, "Boy."
No, Edna's really asking the question.
I know you are.
You have any pamphlets?
What are you asking him?
If you have any pamphlets.
Pamphlets?
No, he does not. No, he doesn't. No, I wouldn't take the pamphlet.
No, nothing?
No, I wouldn't take that pamphlet.
Do you know anybody in town who has?
The people who are no longer here, probably.
All right then.
And then Edna jumps on her horse with one motion. she starts galloping back where she came from.
She's older than dirt, but she's worse than a child, I tell you.
Look, be careful.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more worried about her than I am the damn religious people. And I make my way out the door.
Okay.
And I saddle up and start heading back toward the hole.
Okay. Yeah, so you head back up there, and again, if you're not going like a maniac, it'll probably take you about 45 minutes. Otherwise, in any case, it's like 11 o'clock or something. So it's like not too late in the day. And you're kind of on the outside of this. We'll call it funnel. Kind of like it slopes down and then into a hole in the ground.
Edna says,
Rolf, it looks like that map drawing, doesn't it?
So I pull out the cloth that I had rolled up and I kind of stretch it out and I look at it and does it look like it pretty well is matching up?
No, this is just a hole.
Oh, just a hole? Okay. I guess
you don't see anything yet.
We'll figure it out when we get inside. Get that damn butter knife of yours ready.
Then she grins. She finally smiles after scowling for so long. The wind basically unfurls this mighty blade, this curved two-handed falchion, and she holds it exactly like the pose that you see her.
Just be careful when you swing that thing, old woman. It's Lady Wallace's head we're supposed to get, not mine.
So you notice too that as you're kind of looking down here that there's like a board with another board kind of nailed to it, laying on the ground, and as you kind of approach it, you see it's actually a sign that fell over, and painted on it very crudely. It says, "Enter, friend, and smile with us," and then it has the number 7 underneath it. Below it, there's a stone tunnel. It drops down into the absolute darkness. So it's not a direct hole going down; it's kind of a tunnel coming through it.
They're good. They're really
But it's dark.
So I will light a torch and drop down.
Yeah. It's steep, but not so steep that you have to every once in a while you're probably leaning back a bit, but you're able to kind of go down, and you're definitely going down. You've been probably in a few dungeons before or whatever, so you're getting deep. And it probably takes you 10 minutes of walking, just kind of more or less kind of at an angle, and it opens up into a. Basically, you're coming down like this. It opens up into a corridor going left and right, and as you're looking around, this thing is it's all just the packed or dug dirt, and it's about 10 foot wide, and the ceilings are almost 12 feet tall. And they're vaulted, but there's almost no braces in here. You're looking at this, and even not being an architect, you can look at this and say, this does not look like it should be standing up the way it is. It looks very unnatural. But you can either go left or right at this point. You can kind of smell, being a Northman, you're probably good at this kind of stuff. You can kind of smell to your left the smell of kind of trash and urine and feces. Not right next to you, but down that direction. To the right, not so much. So you can kind of smell that stink coming from that direction. So just because it makes life easier, and the module suggests I do this, I'm going to. I'm just going to, that thing you have is a map, clearly, and I'm just going to show you where you are, so it's easier to direct where you're at. I don't know how you're supposed to figure that out as a player, because it just says you should give them the map, so I'm just going to, because I don't think you'd ever figure out where you were if I didn't tell you. So we're just going to do it that way. If I can figure out how to share the screen again. That way I can just explain to you without having to...
Instead of putting it up here, just send it via the
Hold on.
Okay.
send it via the messenger. We can just download it, and I can have it up on my other screen.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
On the other
Let's do
screen.
it that way. Oh, hold on, there we go. All right. Okay, so you're basically, of course you can't see my mouse. So if you look on what would be the left side, in the second. So if you go, actually I don't know how to do it. So if you go look at it like it's a clock. So if you go about I guess 10 o'clock, that little squiggle coming out of it.
Right.
Yep.
That's where you are. That's the entrance. So you came in through that. That thing on the other side at about 3 o'clock, where you said looks like a tunnel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The other side. You're on the other side.
Yeah, but then up one.
Yeah, so you're facing into it. So left would be if up, and right would be down. Based on how you're facing. So to the upper way, you smell like trash and stuff. To the lower way, it doesn't. The whole thing smells like earth and wetness, but that's a very strong smell.
Yeah, Edna says, "Well, it smells better on the right. Let's go right."
Well, they always say, follow your nose.
And Edna goes, and then she starts on the ground.
Jesus, woman. Oh, excuse me. They wouldn't have said that. Good. By the gods, woman. And then we'll turn right, I guess, and head down.
So you're gonna go away from the smell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you head down to that first intersection, and your torch is lighting up. Obviously, you can't see all that way. It's to your right there, so the part that goes off basically to the left of the map, the left side of the map. Already there. Oh, hey, first room in this encounter.
Yes.
Oh, exciting. Let's just get down to it.
And third.
Oh, okay. You look down to that side, and I will read what you see. But just behind you, you don't have to make a save or anything. It doesn't hit you. Some rocks fall from the ceiling. There's a small tremor, and it almost you probably think for a second, oh shit, this place is going to collapse. But it only lasts for a second or so, and a few boulders fall to the ground.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That hall goes down, and at the end of it, you can see there's a a pit. You would imagine. You're not sure how deep it is because it's filled with worms and grubs and centipedes and stuff, all kind of crawling over and over themselves.
I look over at Edna and I say,
Yeah, fat grubs feed on mounds of rotten wood and other decaying vegetable matter.
I'm going to say that's not the way to go.
We should be good.
That path bugs me. And she continues.
Isn't there supposed to be an axe that you can get?
Oh, God. Young, I forgot what it was like to game with you.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so
Okay, so assuming that the top of the map is north, just to make directions easy.
yes.
If you want to continue to go to the southerly direction,
I think it was-
basically the grubs are to the west, so you can either go to the easterly direction, to the center of the web, or you can continue going south if you want to do the circumference.
So I tried to follow. See again. Can I catch any kind of sense? Any kind of scent? Down
No, you're getting further away from the stink smell, though.
Oh my god.
I was looking for maybe something that smelled good,
No,
like
you
something.
don't think, you have a feeling you're not going to smell anything good for a while.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if maybe you could smell food cooking.
No, you don't. You don't smell anything.
Okay. So I point south and then I point east to Edna and I go this way or this way. Where does your nose say we go now, old woman?
I say we go left.
Actually, you know what? Roll a. No, don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Left it is.
Charlie.
And I start creeping to the left, to the east, heading toward the
They look.
All right.
what would be the next ring.
Okay.
And the whole time I'm looking at this, and I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm going, and I hold it out to Edna, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, I think I've figured out where we are. This is a map of this place.
Yeah, you can kind of start to figure it out now. And as you approach kind of that center circle of the web, if you want to call it that, you can go to the left or to the right. Let me just see if you see anything right there.
Messenger, chat, and
Yeah, actually, to your left and up, so up a bit, maybe like 15 feet to the left as you reach that circle, you see what is somewhat unusual. You see a door. It's built into the wall, so you can see there's like a smudge there. That denotes where the room is.
Okay.
In addition to that, you can your torchlight is just barely. Let me just check something. Yeah, barely catching some glints of something reflective, kind of if you were to go all the way to the center. It's too far away for the torchlight to really reach it, but you're getting like maybe there's glass there or something, or water, because you're getting like little glimpses.
Okay. And to the other direction, the south.
The other direction, you don't see anything. Nothing, but the path. There's nothing there.
Edna points at the door and says,
Should we open the door?
she whispers,
Shall we what the door?
Shall we open the door?
We should probably try to peek into it first. I don't want to just throw the door open and be surprised.
Edna, peels off the scarf on her left ear. And she presses her ear against the door, tries to listen and find out what's behind it, if she hears any motion.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll a d6. You want to get a 1, basically.
One. I got one.
Yeah, you listen. You don't hear anything from the door, but you do hear something coming from what would be the northern part, that corner part. And you kind of look, and then you look up a bit, and you see hanging from the ceiling upside down is basically a.
This is in the hallway?
It's in the hallway, yeah, but he was on the roof. And he's coming towards you. He's walking.
Oh, shit. It's walking on the roof.
Yeah, he's walking on the roof, all right. Oh, there's a picture of him. I don't know if you can tell or not. Let me go.
After dinner, she didn't seem to be
I don't even know how I'm going to do this.
And he
I know what I do. I'll do it this way.
you can go home if you need to. And she just kind of looked at him and she just shook her head no.
You see William.
But I could just tell
Where's
that
William?
there's a lot of animosity there.
There he is.
I didn't catch on it.
I'm going to share.
Exactly, and that's what I think. I think because and he did
Hopefully you get through the whole thing.
you know,
Oh, no. Yeah, perfect. You see him, but he's upside down. He's got a
Oh,
big
man.
smile on his face. He sees you, and he says, "Hey there,
I think she's just done. In all honesty.
Really,
It's sad.
it talks.
It really is
Yeah, he
sad.
talks. He says, "Hey there," and he says, what you looking for?
Scott.
A hat?"
I just kind of glance.
Here to or
Wrench?
Lady Will Wallace.
No.
And Edna tries to smile as hard as she can, but she just cannot seem to get her, lips to curl enough,
Oh.
and it falls back down to a major scowl.
So he's basically upside down and he's hanging, and there's like lots of web and stuff that is behind him. He's kind of just dripping down. And actually, it's almost like you get the feeling like he almost can't control it because like as he's just sitting there, web's just kind of pouring out of his butt. You know, spiders do that. And he's like, "Wow, I know a lot about hats. I'm not an expert in hats, but hats are very good and they keep your head warm, and also they can be stylish. And there's different types of hats that you wear for different things because sometimes you want to wear a hat when like you're dressing up, and then sometimes some hats are for certain kind of religious services. Other kind of hats keep your head, so no sun gets on it. And then also sometimes when it rains.
Can't get out of that.
What are you guys looking for?"
Lady Wallace.
"Oh, do you want to join us?"
Where's my catapult?
And once more, Edna tries to smile as much as
Are they
possible. And she succeeds in smiling just a little bit, and she nods. Uh-huh.
So
"You do? Fantastic. Oh, wow. This is so good. How about you?"
Rolf is obviously somewhat disturbed at the fact that there's a talking spider, and he's like,
He's also big. I should also point out that, because you may not be able to tell from the picture,
"No."
so the spider is
No, we don't.
more or less the size of a person. It is the smile on it is very human-like, although it has a very spidery face. It has 7 spider-type legs and then 1 human arm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you probably can't see that so well there, but he has a human arm right there.
I see the human arm now.
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey!" So he says, "How about you? Are you going to join us?"
Well, I didn't realize there was an us. We were looking for the lady, but there's an us. How many us's are there?
7, the 7 of us. That's why we're called the 7. If you guys join them, we'll be the.
Are they
Well,
far?
we're also called the 7 because we have 7 arms. I'm actually not really sure about that. If you guys join, then it'll be 9, but they might still call us 7 because we have 7 spider arms. But then we have 1 regular arm like this.
Are they far away from us?
Well, I mean, not too far. What we consider far. I travel a lot. I could travel like 100 miles. Well, maybe not 100 miles. Maybe like 10 miles. I could travel pretty far in a day. I could go pretty far.
Well, if you were to
With
take
webs.
it to your friends, how long would it take?
Well, we could just go and call them right now. We have to call Aaron. Aaron's in charge. Are you joining us?
Are they in the room behind us?
What room?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how she said.
Oh, or the corridor down there.
And Edna points
Because
towards
she's,
down the corridor.
Says.
I don't know. We have to find them. I gotta go get them.
No, right over there. Look.
It
Savannah's
points.
fears death.
Where? Behind you?
Down, yeah, behind you, down that corridor.
Well, all right.
I don't think so. He turns around, looks. He doesn't see him.
As soon as he turns around, she tries to whack him with the sword.
Okay.
I guess it's on now.
All right. Go ahead. Make an attack roll.
Yeah.
You better hit.
That is
I got
11 plus 4 for the melee attack.
Yeah, you're a fighter, so you should be pretty good.
15, yeah.
15. That's it.
Fighter. Oh my god. For D10 damage.
Oh, so that's a hit?
Yeah, it hits.
Yeah.
AC has leather, so that's a 14 AC.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 6 plus 4, 10 points of damage on that creature.
No, you don't do a bonus to damage, only to attack.
Oh, okay. Just
Lamentations.
6 points of damage on it.
Yep, you just use weapon damage unless you have a magical weapon. Okay. Well, that wasn't very nice. He spins around and says, "Roll initiative." So that's a D6 plus any dex mod that you might have.
I have a 5 with no dex mod, so
I got 3.
Okay, you're gonna go first, rush with 5. The spider also got 3, so you guys will go simultaneous.
okay.
So what would you like to do there?
So I'm be like, I just kind of shrug. I mean, I had my axe in my hand the whole time.
Mhm.
I just, after watching what Edna did, I'm just like, I guess it's going to be the 6. And then I attack him.
All right.
I got a 12 with a plus 2.
So 14, that hits.
Okay. Sweet. And my damage is a d8. For 6 points of damage.
All right. So you guys viciously, I mean, the way this went down is basically this poor innocent spider turned around, who was not very smart, and the giant sword chopped into him. His gut started to spill open, and then the vicious barbarian from the north hacked him, and he falls to the ground dead. He's laying there as green ichor pours out from his cavity with a big smile on his face. And he says, I know a lot about swords. And he dies.
I bet you do.
I look over at Edna and I was like, do you suppose this was one of the townsfolk?
Well, he looks very happy to be in the state.
And she shrugs and says,
So let's look for Lady Wallace.
and she continues to put her ear against that door to see if she could hear anything from behind that door.
Nope. It's quiet.
And she looks around and, puts her hand on the door handle and turns it, tries to open it.
Yeah, you can pull it open. So you pull the door open. It's the room is full of hats. There's like a lot of even though this whole place is dirt, there's basically like a lot of tables and like shelves would have like these mannequin heads, and they're all covered with hats. There's, I mean, you're not going to have time to count them, but you would guess there's somewhere around 50 hats in this room. They're all different types of hats. They look of various different types. Some very beautiful hats with peacock feathers and tricorn hats and baseball. Well, no baseball caps, but regular caps, and hunting caps and winter caps, and there's a lot of hats in here.
Does he have anything that looks like a leather hat that's like a wide brimmed safari hat type deal?
Yep. Sure.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, you can grab a hat if you want.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna grab the body of the creature and drag it into this room.
Okay, you could do that. I mean, there's ichor and webs and shit you're not gonna be able to clean up very easily. But yeah, you can take the body in there anyways.
Do we know where Edna guesses that around his mouth is probably where the poison of the spider would be. So she raises her sword above her head and, whacks at the head of this creature, trying to, take out the pincer or like the stinger.
It has like a human mouth. There's no.
Oh, no, just like a human?
I don't see any kind of a pincer, no. That's a human's mouth.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's that then. She is it wearing anything, or does it have anything on its body?
Smile.
Okay.
No, it's not wearing anything. It's naked. It's a spider.
Right.
It's not wearing a hat, but now the barbarian is, which is worth 10 silver pieces.
I grabbed one of the really fine hats with some peacock feathers and everything, and I just walked by.
Yeah, there's three particularly beautiful hats that are tricorn hats. They're like
Oh, okay.
yeah. If you want those look the nicest. I mean, you're not a hat expert, but they have like gold piping, and they're the ones that look valuable. The other hats all look like they're good hats, but they're not like especially valuable hats.
I'm looking for like a utilitarian hat.
No, if any hat you want is here. There's 56 hats in this room. There's a hat that you want. Whatever you like, you got that.
Edna picks out the one with the winged, like little swan wings along the side or something, kind of like Thor's helmet.
All right, yeah. No, so you guys get some nice hats.
Yeah.
You're hanging out.
Oh, never mind.
All right, yeah. No, he's you don't see anything in here that leads you to the woman who you're trying to murder.
Right. So I would walk back out the door with Edna, and I would comment to Edna on That's a very
So which
fine,
one do we want to go to?
very fine choice of hats you have there, Edna. And then,
Well- And Edna says, we should continue on this way. I'll follow you this time, Rolf.
well, do you want to head for the center where we went for the door? Do you want to head for where the glittery object is, or keep searching around this ring?
Well, that fellow did say that there are 7 of them.
Okay, me too.
I don't want them to find us all at once and devour us or make us smile.
Yes, but if we
I'd
find
say,
the lady,
I'd say we go to the center and see if we can find the lady.
if we get her head first, we can just get out and run.
Yes, and that would make me smile.
There. Well, that's what we're all about then. So I would go back the way we came
Okay.
to that intersection
Yep.
and turn to the east and start making our way up that way.
Okay, yeah. So you head down to the idol room.
Oh, boy.
That's the 3rd room in a row that I rolled my counter. 7. Okay. But I already rolled them. It's not that guy. Okay, so you go into this room, and it is the center, clearly.
I
Of
went
the
ahead and I used my my res on
All right.
our DPSers.
What appears to be a natural cluster of rubies dangles upon asbestos strands from the ceiling. So you've got rubies hanging from the ceiling. That's what you were glittering before. It's the size of a child's outspread hand. The gems form a vague shape of a 7-legged spider.
He says I got.
That's dangling in the middle of the room.
Side.
You're pretty tall. You could probably reach it.
Is he even?
Barely, like up on your toes.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And
Otherwise, the room itself is empty currently, but there is something coming.
it looks like it's made of what again?
Rubies.
Gotta get her off that thing.
I kind
Oh,
of go
yeah.
wide-eyed and glance over at Edna.
I don't think
So, well, that would pay a pretty penny.
we have to.
It does look valuable, that's for sure.
Ooh, shit.
It's dangling in the middle. What's underneath it?
Oh no, it's dangling by like threads, like asbestos threads.
Okay, but
It's
is there
dangling, like the ceiling's 12 feet tall, but it's dangling down like 4 feet on these threads. So it's like maybe like 8-ish feet up. So you could probably reach it, like, you know, if you're 6 foot, you could probably just barely reach it.
But what I'm saying is, like, the floor underneath it is just plain old dirt floor.
Yep. Yeah. Appears to be.
Ah!
And I'm sorry, just making sure I got it. It's how big?
The size of a child's hand.
Oh, fucking A.
It's a bunch of rubies, like, so it's like dangling like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so the room itself is basically just dirt. I mean, you see all those other ways out. Do you see any? No, you don't see any light or anything, and you smell maybe
No.
that trashy smell again from the north. In fact, you definitely smell it from the north. But as far as what's in here, you're kind of checking this thing out, and you hear
I can't take any more.
scuttling coming from the southeast, and another spider man kind of crawls in the room. He's on the ground though, and he's a little fatter. He kind of moseys in a little bit. And he sees you, and he goes, "Well, I wouldn't touch that."
Oh, of course, I wasn't planning to touch it, of course. I'm
Twice,
simply looking for
actually.
the Lady Wallace. Somebody
Yeah.
told me that she was here, and I thought she might be in trouble.
We have too many down. There's.
Why would she be in trouble? You notice that he's smiling, but it's the fakest smile that you've seen so far.
Well, somebody saw her go down into a hole. They didn't know what was going on, so they were concerned. And
There was a swordsman. A swordsman with a large sword walking that way. And she points down the corridor.
It's that bastard Aaron. You know, maybe you should take that damn thing. He deserves it.
Who is Aaron?
He's going to give her the power first. I've been here the longest, but Aaron thinks that she's so important.
Oh, I see. Does this, and he points at the ruby, is this what gives the power?
That's the thing that he worships because, you know, these are religion. Well, no, we all believe in the power of the Lady of the Deep.
So I kind of approach this spider thing and I say, let me ask you a question. I get this sense that you do not approve of the Lady Wallace.
Oh my God! Stop healing yourselves.
I just want what is rightfully mine,
I hate
which
you.
is everything.
Would you be willing to be rid of her if it gets you what you want?
It sounds to me like you're speaking of something devious.
Well, we're here to cut off her head. Edna admits.
He kind of scuttles back a little bit.
I look at Edna like, you son of a bitch. And I look back and I say,
He says, don't try it. Don't try it. He has to put up the one human hand. Let's see, because I switched the thing up.
We have no
Don't
reason
try it.
We have no reason to attack you. We just want her head.
How do I know that? Anybody who takes one spider's head could take any spider head. Oh, not
because
really a spider.
if I wanted your head, I would have taken it already, and I wouldn't have asked you the question that I did.
No.
I want nothing to do with this place.
He scowls and jumps at you. So make an initiative.
Oh,
This guy's a
shit.
bastard. Yeah,
He
he is.
is. All right. Bring it on.
He's a slow bastard with the one initiative.
Well, I got a 4, so.
Let me get my initiative. Roll 1d6, right?
1d6 plus dex.
Yeah, I got 5.
Okay, so you go first. So you see him he scuttles back like he's gonna leap at you, but clearly he's slow as fuck.
Yeah.
What does Edna want to do?
I mean, Edna's intent is pretty apparent from this point on.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. She's making
So,
no bones.
At her hand on the hilt, and all of a sudden she says, "Whoop!" and she brings it right up there. And 19.
I can't get over the imagery of this decrepit crone with this giant sword just kicking everybody's ass. Oh,
I rolled 6 again for damage.
Oh, jeez. All right, so he backs up, and it looks like you actually think for a second that he's going to leap at you, and then Edna's sword comes down so quickly and cleaves him directly in half.
holy shit, killed him.
Some dark purple ichor pours forth from a gaping wound in his now no longer smiling face.
Edna is
Number 5.
holding her sword in that pose, and you see that blood stain on that picture. That's basically what she has right now. And inexplicably, even though she's underground, wind blows, and her scarf flutters in the wind.
The wind blows, and you smell that garbage to the north.
Nice. So I pull my axe back as the thing tries to jump at me like I'm going to defend myself. And then, of course, Edna cleaves it down, and I just kind of look down and I go, well. And I glance over to Edna and say, I guess that makes it 5. And I put my sword away. And then I take a dagger. And I'm going to go over and cut that. I want to cut that thing down.
Okay. You can do it. It cuts through pretty easily. You stick it in your pocket. You figure it's worth quite a bit of coin.
Yes, I stuff it in a pouch.
Yep, sure. You hear the sound of a baby crying as you cut the thing down.
Really?
But you're rich now, so don't worry about any babies that you might have killed.
No, like seriously, did I hear the sound of a baby crying when okay. Stop playing with me, man. This is Lamentations of the Flame Princess. There's no telling if that's true or not.
Let me just check.
You hearing things, baby?
No, it's worth about 400 silver Oh, yeah, that's right. It's silver standard. So this guy was giving you silver earlier. But whatever.
So not surprising.
You actually, though, now I'm being serious.
Okay. Thanks for the disclaimer.
You feel the ground rumble a little bit like it poured a few more rocks fall on the ceiling when you do it, but then it stops.
Okay. So I glance over at Edna and I say, okay, well that was my turn. Now it's your turn. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 choices to make. pick away, woman.
You take them. I'm just here for the joy of slicing and dicing.
And then she swings her swords.
All right, hold on.
So which way you want to go?
Let's see. We'll start.
So essentially, yeah, you can go, northeast, northwest, go west, which is where you came from. You can go east. You can go southeast, southwest.
Are we at the hub?
You're dead center.
That's it. I'm gonna say. I say we keep going east. It's been lucky so far.
I say let's.
And Edna heads out, heading down east.
East, okay.
Yep.
That works.
Okay.
Okay, you follow it down to see where that second circle is, and just beyond there, the wall is collapsed, so you can't go for east further anymore. You can either go north or south at that point. But as you look to the north, you can see like a bunch of spider webs, kind of like almost. You take a second; it almost looks like a large cobweb is covering that entire way. So basically, if you were to go north, it'd be very difficult to get through the web because it's blocking the way. But you can go south and clear. South is free and clear. Or of course you could go north, but didn't deal with the web somehow.
I look at it and say, perhaps we go the easier route this time.
You hear, oh no, Baby's dead. You hear two women's voices. They seem to be having a loud conversation. It's on the other side of the web. You don't see them yet. They're heading your way. The web is not, of course, completely,
Okay, now you pull them together.
you can see through it. So if you stand where you are, they're going to see you on the other side of the web. It probably, as soon as they come around that corner.
So is there any light down here at all?
No.
No. Okay. Shit.
Yeah,
No, I should point out that, sorry, that's a good point. That when you saw the one spider on the roof, he didn't have any light with him, but the second guy, he had a candle.
this one.
And from the direction you hear them talking, you actually see some light coming. So they're carrying some kind of light source.
All right, so I'm going to put my torch out
I
then.
hope to never get
That way
such a
they
thing.
shouldn't be able to see me or us.
Okay. So you douse the torch and you're basically in complete darkness and you just see, kind of a soft glow of light coming from the north. And around the corner come two more of these kind of spidery people. They're having a conversation. It's kind of hard to make out exactly what they're talking about at this point. They seem to be carrying, one of them seems to be carrying almost like a goldfish bowl. And it's got some fish in it, and those fish are glowing. So they're kind of like the light source, almost like a lantern as they're walking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And they come to the web, and they kind of climb up into it and start talking. So, I mean, you're not really in their light. You're kind of at the edge of it, so they probably can't see you. But, of course, they're pretty close to you. So if you start moving around, there's a chance they might hear you, you think. But otherwise, you think you're pretty hidden right now.
Edna, would have put away her sword and then, would take out her bow.
I lean over to try and whisper to Edna very quietly, and I whisper and say, should we try to lure them? I basically whisper, say, should we try to lure them over to us? Or should we just go the other direction? Or
I know that there
what do you think
is
we should
an
do?
ability that you can get
What if one of them's Lady Wallace? If we were to
them away.
kill them, and they turn out to be
I think
spiders,
it's a
how
ton.
would we get our gold?
I don't know.
That's a good point.
Now, are we supposed to stand in the one in the middle or no?
Well, we could always just ask. Tell them the same thing. We're searching for the Lady Wallace.
Let's be quiet a little bit and try to overhear what they're saying.
All right. So I guess we
Yeah,
can try
just
that.
did. And I've got 6 stacks. So
Yeah, so Edna stays quiet. She tries to listen as much as possible with her old ears.
Yes, you listen to them talking. They seem to be discussing basically what they're going to be eating later. They're talking about cooking.
oh, a
And
healer.
they're talking about the corn chowder that they're going to make, and how many grubs they should put in it. So just so you should know, they are on kind of the other side of, if you will, the web. So if you did want to use your bow, you could do that, but there's a very good chance that the bow shot might get stuck in the web going through. Just keep that in
15
mind.
seconds.
I'm going to grant them cover for that.
Do they ever refer to each other by name?
Roll a d6.
Okay, which one are we going to go after?
I actually got a 1.
We got 2.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Oh, so by the way, I don't know if you know this because I know that a lot of people don't do this, but I'll mention it. So whenever I have you roll a d6 or something like that, I also roll, and that's the number you have to hit. Instead of rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, unless it's something that's actually a skill, then you have your regular skill check. That way you know. That way it's always different. So yeah, they just don't say it. I mean, they don't mention their names like, you go, girl. Just like that. Because they're spiders.
Edna goes back to the body of that large,
As soon as
fatter
she
spider,
go sit in it.
and
I've only
she,
got 1 stack.
You're going to walk back in the dark?
yeah,
All right, roll a d6.
All right.
1.
Okay, you walk back. I mean, you can't see it, so you walk back until you just run into it.
Yeah, and she lights the candle. I mean, is the candle still lit?
The other ad down. Ooh, shit.
Over
No,
there?
it went out when it hit the ground.
Okay, she lights the candle, and she hoists the creature on her back, and she takes out the sword, and holds it with, basically sheaths it, but it's accessible enough so that she can draw it at any given point. But she's, on her back she has this spider, and she's got the candle lit with one hand, and she's walking down that path acting like she's this fat spider.
She's down.
And
I get what you're going at there. The spider's cut in half.
okay.
So, I mean, you chopped its head right down the center. But that, which is fine what you're saying, but there's no way in hell you'd be able to draw a sword if you're doing what you're doing. It's a 2-handed sword. That's a giant thing to draw.
Right.
You're carrying it in your hand, or you're not carrying it at all. Like, it's not like you put it in a sheath. It's giant.
Okay. Does she have
But you
like
can try to do that.
Just stand over here.
Does she have a scabbard or a holster or something like that?
I mean, I doubt it. It's a giant sword. It probably goes onto your horse.
Okay.
I mean, how would you put it in a...
Yeah. She had that idea.
Yeah, that's why a 2-handed sword gives you an extra point of income. It's literally an extra thing you have to carry. It's like it's carrying a pole arm or something.
Yeah.
But you could try to disguise yourself as a spider, but you can have the sword somewhere if you want it to be usable. Or you can leave it where it is, I suppose.
Well, I mean, she's gonna give it to Rolf and say, "Well, hold on to this sword a little while, will you? Just give it to me when I need it. I'm gonna put on this half of the spider and walk in there and have them come down near us."
All right. So you're having this conversation, and you hear them. They stop,
What did you
and
do?
they're like, "Who's there?"
It's me.
Oh, no.
I roll my eyes.
No.
Who?
Say that you're dead.
She says,
Did he say his name?
That's weird. Why am I Oh, now I see.
I just shake my head.
It's me, she says, and she puts she brings that candle closer to the head, but it's not. The light is on the other side, so the lighting, if it's on the other side, it's kind of bright, and they're actually getting the shadowy part, so they can't really make out the features, but just the profile of the spider's head.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d12.
I roll 5.
Yeah, belt.
They kind of look, and they're like, "What's wrong with you? Why aren't you smiling?"
Beloved.
I'm gonna tell Aaron. He's supposed to be smiling, And they start to move towards you.
Oh, you know what? My cutscene is playing.
And
I'm also loading.
and goes down the corridor, or she does.
Towards them.
What's that?
You going towards them or away?
No, away from them, so that they would actually come down and, come towards them.
So one of them that's like a big bright yellow spider starts to move towards you, and the other one goes to the north. Well, actually, it goes to the north. So they go, they split up.
I kind of droop my head as Edna comes this way, and I just droop my head and kind of shake it, and I just hold out her sword out to the side so as she walks past, she can grab it.
And she tosses the sword, the spider's body, down the direction that she's traveling, and basically says, "She's coming this way. Just kill her."
So you throw the thing down, and when the spider sees the thing fly through the air, and you say that, she throws. Well, that's basically your action. She's gonna try to throw her web on you. She has a web. All right, you have to make a save versus paralyzation.
Oh boy. Let's see, here we go. Oh, 5.
No. All right. So you throw the spider down, and you turn back, throwing my swoosh, and a web just flips you to the wall like Spider-Man style. And she goes, she chitters, and then she yells out, "Aaron, Aaron!" And you hear it echoing in the hallways. What do you want to do, Rush? Rolf. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Is she still approaching after she plasters him to the wall?
Yeah, no, she's going to stay where she is. She's probably like 10, 15 feet away from him, which is probably like, you're slightly closer to her because you were in that corner there. You could charge her. You want to get to her this round?
Yeah, I'm going to just leap out of the darkness and just be like, ah, like that, and see if I can take her down.
All right, so she's got leather shield, so she's got 15 AC.
Okay.
She's a little stick. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. No, it's 15.
Do I have to roll to get into the initiative, or is this like a surprise?
No, you just this is gonna get your turn.
I rolled an 18 on the die, so I'm pretty sure. For 6 points of damage.
That kills her. You chop the yellow spider in half. She's like, "Aaron, Aaron!" And then out of the darkness comes charging the other spider that you had seen talking, and she's going to go at you.
I bet.
Rush, Jean. She's going to swing at you now because she went the other way to get a shovel. She's swinging a shovel at you.
Nice.
And she says, "I'm going to bury you." But she rolls a 5, so she doesn't bury it. She buries the shovel into the wall.
Yes.
And now we can roll initiative. So everybody roll a d6, although you'll be able to make a saving throw again to get out.
So I rolled a 4.
Well, nope, she's slow as hell. She got a 1. What's your initiative, John?
Make it out of there. I rolled natural 20 on that.
Okay, you'll be able to pull out. What was your initiative?
I haven't done it yet. Initiative is 1.
Okay, so you're going to pull up at the end of the round. Even after she goes. Because you're simultaneous. But it's Rush's turn.
All right, so I rolled an 11 on the die, which plus 2 gives me a 13.
You got a 13?
Yes, total.
That does not hit. She has a 15 AC.
Shit.
All right, she looks at you and she says, "Let me try that again." She swings the shovel. 14 plus 1, 15. That doesn't hit you, right? Your AC is 16.
Does not, thanks to my Northman ability. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So she swings at you with the shovel, and you're easily able to, with your loincloth or whatever you wear.
I got leather on. I'm decent.
she misses you, and now you bust out with the web. You bust out the web, young, and then it's back up around to rush.
So now I'll be like, oh, the old lady's out. You're in trouble now. And then I swing. I rolled a natural 20 that time.
Well, that definitely hits.
I don't know if there's crit damage or not, but I rolled yet another 6.
Oh, all right. That's not quite enough.
Okay.
Okay. Roll a d6 again, young. Just see who goes first against you.
I got 3 this time.
Oh, she also got 3. One more time.
3.
Okay, so she's going to go then you. All right, so she gets hit and she's So she drops the shovel and leaps forward at you to try to bite into you with her. You notice that she's got a little bit of a stinger in her tongue.
Oh shit!
This is the one you should have actually messed up with an 8. It's now your turn, young. The one spider is trying to accost your friend.
Okay, she's gonna basically leap out of the web and says, "We just wanted to smile. That's all." And then she swings, and I roll 14.
Okay, she only had 1 hit point left. So, no, you don't have any bonuses, right?
Oh, actually, melee bonus is actually 4, so 14, 15.
Yeah,
15.
yeah, that definitely is. Okay, yeah, that kills her. She only had 1 hit point left. You chop her down.
All right. As it falls down on the ground, she looks at the stinger in the mouth and says, "Maybe we should just take that, huh?" And she chops it off.
With a 2-handed sword.
Yeah.
Well, I can hand her a dagger. I want to cut it.
Okay, you're gonna take time to milk the. You're doing that. You hear a voice from down the hallway. You turn and there's another spider, and he's got. I guess there's only 3 left, right?
Yeah, and he says that as they go down, he's like, "Well, I guess that makes us the 3."
Yep. So the spider says. You hear him. He says,
I did.
"For someone who wants to join us,
Oh yeah.
you seem to be awful violent there. But now you can join us. Make a saving throw versus magic,
Yeah, I did.
young, since you said you wanted to join.
17.
17, you make it. Okay. So you feel yourself get a little nauseous, but you kind of shake it off. And he says, "So, did you want to join or not?" He looks at.
I need to take Sophie.
Well, he doesn't know whether if it was successful, right?
No, you don't know anything.
Because
No, well, he knows. No, he's talking to Rolf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
He's just Rolf. So, did you want to join or not? Join
the
or
only
die?
way that
Smile
you
or die?
to that
I smile and I say, "Well, we've been trying to join, but every time we talk to one of you, you attack us." He says, "I'm just looking for the lady, the lady Wallace. I've heard of her. I wanted to speak with her, and we came to see. And you attack us, and you claim I am violent. I'm simply I kind of cut eyes over it, and I was like, we were simply just looking to smile."
We wanted to smile because we wanted to serve Lady Gwendolyn Wallace. We were told that she went down this way, but as we came in, that one fella jumped at us.
Didn't really make the time to do it. And then when I remembered,
And
We are not violent people.
File.
If you want to join,
they take their
put your
lunch
weapons down
break,
and come with me to the room of the idol.
and,
We worship at the idol, and you will smile."
during the lunch break, and then I was like, okay,
That sounds pretty good to me.
And she pretends like she's dropping the sword.
I put
And,
mine in my
Hey,
belt.
can you come let Sophie out, please?
and looks over at Rush and basically figure out what he's gonna do.
Yay.
And actually grabs a sword and runs the other way and says, "Run away!" And she's running into
Wait, I think
the
we-
opposite direction.
Well, the webs are the opposite direction.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could run back into the center, I guess, if you want. But you would probably know because this is a web that they could circle around. But you can run that way. That you either are running towards them, or you're running towards the center again, or you're running into the webs.
Just looking
That's
around.
basically
How far are
I'm
they?
not the only one.
From
Maybe like 15 feet away. They're at that. They're basically at that other piece of pie. They're at the other. Like if you look at the center, and then you go to the right, you're right there. Right. That's the area that you're at. They're at the next axle below you.
Hey, Zach.
So if you start to run to the center, they can run into the center as
Can you
well
let Sophie
because they're
out,
right there.
please? I think she's got to go to the bathroom. But I'm
Okay.
So that's fine. So you run. I mean,
Yeah, she runs to the center and then
Alright.
she just turns the corner so that their immediate view. She's out of their immediate view or their web attack if they were to try to, stick her to the wall.
You gonna do it?
yeah, for sure. Okay, so you start to run. So that's what you're gonna do. Let's roll initiative and see what happens.
Yeah, she was-
All right. So initiative.
I
5.
got 4.
I got a 1 this time.
All right, so they're going to go first this time. So, Daddy Longlegs,
I think when I'm there, I'm gonna.
he has his long legs have a pike-like reach. He doesn't even have to get close to you. He just reaches forward with his long ass leg and tries to stab it through one of you. If the attack roll is even, it'll be Rush's character. If it's odd, it'll be Young's.
Monday,
Where'd it go?
where they said
Wow, I'm rolling like crap today. 6 is right, but it misses you by completely, Rush.
treatment.
The other
They said it's 'cause we really soothing.
the guy who's talking, who's Aaron,
Oatmeal shampoo for them, but
he.
I typically don't bathe them because for one, it's too cold outside for Charlie.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the only way he can be bathed. Is they have to be outside.
Both of you roll a d20.
It's for Sophie. She will get so stressed.
11.
I got a 10.
You got the lowest number?
I did. I have a 10.
Okay, so it's gonna be on you. All of a sudden, you feel incredibly heavy. So you're gonna basically have a slow spell on you. You weigh twice as much. So you always act last in combat. Your movement is halved, and you're -2 on all rolls.
Yay.
It lasts until the next sunrise, so it's gonna be basically this whole thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you're basically slowed down. And then finally, Gwendolyn charges forward. She says, "Don't use my name
Never had
to be murderous. I only want to smile." And just the same thing. She rolls and
Tinder.
even it's Rush's character odd. It's 15, so that's against Young's character, and she's +3, so 18. That's where you you.
It's a 2-pack, and they're individually wrapped.
She does not that much damage. I don't think she does any special attack. She just has that. Okay, so she does
And the first time you've ever had one of these,
5 points of damage.
was in Germany.
And she jams one of her legs into your
It is, I think, a German
midsection.
company.
And now it's your
A
turn.
lot of Kinders.
Rushes or mine?
Different
I'm
kinds of
going last.
Rush is always going to go last now, so it's going to be you.
in Germany.
Okay.
Germans apparently are
Yeah,
very
he
hazelnut.
looks up at
Their
Gwendolyn and
candy
says,
is-
You said your name was Gwendolyn,
These are chocolate anyway.
and that makes me smile.
and she attacks her with a roll of 18.
But
That
I've
hits.
gotten it.
And here
I
goes
fell in love with them,
1d10
and it's like a
and 7 points of damage on her.
Nice. We roll some points for her.
And, there's actually a gas station.
Okay.
We've gone over there.
You chop into her, and she says, like one of her legs starts to dangle off.
There,
And she says,
Micah was getting
"What a flesh wound."
we were getting coffee, and
Uh-oh.
I saw those Kinder
Yeah.
candies. I thought, oh, that looks good.
Rolf's turn.
So it's like I pull my axe again, and I'm just like
they are. Well,
slowly
and
swinging
it's
it.
at the little egg
I'm like,
thing.
we
Yeah, I
just
don't care for those.
we
It's
wanted to
just-
talk to you. That was
Oh,
it.
just
And then I swing,
cream.
and well, I got a
Yeah.
17, so with a -2, that's 15. But I get a +2, so that's back to 17.
Cream.
I think that's it. Yeah. Who you're well, it's actually only Gwendolyn's close, so I guess she's the one you're attacking.
Chocolate
I'm sorry, what?
and wafer.
like Gwendolyn's the only one within range, so I guess that's who you're attacking.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
she's
she
right
does
there.
really
So,
well.
so yeah, the +2, basically the -2 just does away with my attack bonus. So I got a
Awesome. Yeah, that
17.
hits.
I got a 17 on the die
Perfect.
Nice.
for 8 points of damage.
Holy
Whoa.
shit. Okay. Yeah. You chop off another couple of legs. She kind of teeters back and forth. And she says, I'll bleed on you.
You don't have any
And
choice.
we're back to the top. Roll initiative, Young.
4 again.
I don't
Okay,
have to
they
do
got
that.
one, so you're always going to go last. So you'll go first, Young, and then the creatures, and then.
All right, here we go. Gwendolyn once more, but this time I roll 2.
All right, you miss. So now it's their turn. She's right there, up on you with her. She tries to punch you with her human hand, and misses.
Ooh.
Daddy Longlegs is going to take a swing from back in his safe position. He's got a 17, and well, he rolled a 16, which is even. So that's Rush's character, but 17 is the roll, so that hits you, right? And how much damage does Daddy Longlegs do? Just a D4. 4 points damage. And Aaron in the back, he slowly backing away. He does not attack. Young, your turn.
Okay. She's gonna continue to attack Gwendolyn, and she says,
We just want Gwendolyn, that's all. That's why we're here. Leave us alone, will you?
and she swings and she misses again. I roll another 2.
Ah, okay. Rush. Take it home.
Rush,
You're
I think
muted,
you're
Rush.
muted.
Sorry, you said take it home. I said not with an 8. I'm not.
No. Okay, that's the end of that round. So go ahead and make another save versus magic, Young.
Okay. Come on, baby. Ooh, this time she fails at 7.
Okay, so you feel a terrible pain, and out of your side, a spider leg comes, gross, one single spider leg.
Oh no!
And you start to feel very nauseous, and all of a sudden, the world is spinning around you, and your mouth is starting to come up into a smile as you are transformed into a spider. But it's going to take a d6 rounds. Oh, it's going to take 5 rounds. Okay, so it's going to take you a bit, but you're being transformed into a spider. And that begin the next round. Let's roll initiative again.
I died
3.
because nobody was soaking the puddles.
2.
All right, so the spiders are going to go first. Seeing that you're being transformed into one of them, they're going to focus their attacks on Rush's character. So Daddy Longlegs attacks and rolls a natural 1, but there's no crit fails or crit hits in Lamentations, so he misses. He's very awkward with his long leg reaching forward. And then Gwendolyn, who's bleeding all over you, says, "Leave me alone! Leave me alone!" And rolls a 20. And does 3 points of damage to Rush. Okay, now it's Young's turn. Young's character's turn. Edna, Skull Crusher.
RIP that poor DPS.
Oh, clean.
I have legs growing out of my side. Ah!
She swings again at Gwendolyn.
Okay.
Oh man, I roll 5.
Oh, all right.
Crazy.
All right, you miss. It's Rush's turn. Your friend's being turned into a spider.
I'm still going to go after Gwendolyn. We need to focus fire here. So I rolled a 15. That's a 15 on the die.
Okay, and that's all you get?
Yeah.
Well,
15 is what she's got. She's AC plus leather and shield, so that exactly hits her.
Nice. Okay. And I do 4 points of damage this time.
That's enough. You swing at her and chop into her, and Gwendolyn drops.
Okay.
Next round. So, initiative, Young?
She says,
We got Gwendolyn. We don't want to fight anymore. We just want her, that's all.
She shouts.
Okay, Daddy Longlegs starts skittering backwards. Aaron's nowhere to be seen, and one more spider leg pops out of your side, and you're feeling very nauseous.
And she throws up. She's
Says, let's get out of here.
Oh, it did.
I look down at Gwendolyn. First, I look at Edna, and I'm just like freaked the hell out. And I look down at Gwendolyn, and is there anything that even remotely looks like identifiable?
I mean, her smile.
I just look down at her and I go, "Oh, fuck it!" And I just reach down and go, boom, and cut her head off, and just grab it. And I look over at Edna, and I'm just like, "Yeah, come on, you."
Okay, yeah. So the one more, it's around to do that, and then around to so more legs are popping out.
Action.
You're working your way out, and as you get to the entrance, Edna fully transforms into a spider. She falls to the ground, her skin rips off of her face, and all she does is a giant smile and a big spider eye in the center of her head, and only with the one arm, which is surprisingly strong and can still wield a two-handed sword. And she turns. And you see, like further down the hallway, you see Aaron, and he says, "Kill him."
With pleasure.
Oh no!
Edna.
Roll initiative. No, you always go last.
Oh shit!
Spider Edna attacks.
This is gonna be so horrible if you hit me.
No, it's actually 4, so she misses.
Because I'm just looking at Edna, and I'm like, "How am I close to the exit?"
You're somewhat close, but you're half speed.
Oh shit!
It's almost you won't be able to outrun her.
All right, well,
Tough
God,
decisions.
I just hold it up and I go, "God damn it, Edna!" And I swing, and I rolled an 8, so neither one of us can do a
Oh,
thing.
my glasses go.
Okay, Young, attack.
Ah, study boy. You think you can take old Edna, huh?
She swings.
Okay.
Oh man, I rolled
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Roll a what?
7.
Jesus.
Well, she misses.
So I dodged deftly, and I go, "But Edna, I loved you." I attack back, and I rolled an 18
Nice.
for 5 points of damage.
Okay. From 12, she is down to.
Whee!
Should be 7.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 if you took 5 points. You're hurting. It's your turn though.
Yep, but Edna, all of a sudden, her eyes, the spider eyes, flash, and she uses her psionic ability to heal herself.
Oh, you whore!
You heal for D6. Yeah.
A D6, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
3 points of damage back to
Nice.
10.
Okay, now it's your turn though, Rich.
You love me, huh? Well, for a guy so big, I was rather disappointed by that little bulge.
She makes fun of you.
I don't know if this is going to be enough. I rolled a 14.
It's AC 15. Oh wait, but she's not wielding her.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a shield anymore.
Yeah, so 14 actually hits.
Yeah, because you only have one arm.
6 points of damage.
Oh,
Ow!
she says. She loses a couple of spider arms too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's your turn now, Young.
Take this, Rolf!
And 14.
That is not enough.
14 plus 4, so that's
Oh,
8.
that is enough.
No.
Yeah. Wielding that sword still, so here we go. 4 points of damage.
Oh shit, I'm still alive. Oh, I'm still alive. I am now covered in blood. And I'm like, I hate you, Edna. I never liked you. You're an old bat. And I swing back. And I roll a fucking 9.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, young. Aaron's like, bring it home.
Oh, no.
Blows.
It's you and me, Rolf. I always wanted to test my skill against you. Ah!
She charges, and she only rolls 9 plus 4, so that's 13.
This is Rush.
Here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Come on.
I'm just like, you ugly goddamn old crone. And I like feebly swing my axe in like the worst possible way because I rolled a 1.
Oh god.
I've got blood in my face. I can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah. You guys are like exhausted and bloody and you're swinging wildly. Go, young.
All right, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, Rush. Guys,
Well, enough banters. Yeah.
she swings and does 2 points of damage.
It doesn't matter how much you do as long as you hit. I only had 1 left.
The mighty sword cleaves your body,
Yes.
and you're not smiling, I suppose.
No, I am now lying in a pool of my own blood.
Not to fear, though, because they bring you down to where that trash pit was with all the urine in pieces, and they throw you in there so you can rot.
Yay!
Or feed you to the grubs. And, even though Evelyn, what was her name, Evelyn?
The little girl?
Gwendolyn, even though Gwendolyn was killed, so Aaron had nobody to mate with, now he has Edna.
Yes!
Go Cleaver.
So who really wins?
Right, so really
Of course, Edna's probably all about it. She's like, finally, I get to make love again.
So Edna is smiling now, and she can wield her giant sword in one hand with her big old spider face.
Oh, God.
Well done.
Hey, at least we saved the little girl.
You did save the little girl. That's
I
true.
will walk away with that. I'm a horrible man who saved the little girl.
That is true. You were like, you're on an assassination mission, and you saved a little girl. So that's actually
Because she's little, she doesn't deserve,
Set the dismembered body. Roll for that.
Don't worry, Sunny boy. Be happy.
It gives a big.
So yeah, Edna gets to become a smiler, and Rolf is food.
Tony, you missed out on such a good ending.
I can't believe you. I just want to say you were very clever with not saying yes or no to the whole thing. Because if you said no, nobody did it. If you directly say no to them, then you mutate. So that's why they keep asking you. If you'd been like no, then they would have been. Then you would have got a mutation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
like a curse of not joining. But I couldn't believe Young, your character said yes. I was like, oh, really? Perfect. Oh, so good. That's good, guys. We didn't get to test the new magic system because Tony got bumped. I'm sad for Tony. Sorry, Tony, if you get to watch this.
I am too. I was really looking forward to playing with him again. But
Yeah, that was really fun, though. Thanks, guys. That was a little weird.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I like the Northman, the armor thing. I think it plays out well.
Mm-hmm.
And the psionics was good with that little bit that we used it.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yes,
That was like perfect how you healed yourself because if you hadn't, it might have been gone the other way. Who knows?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I got to tell you though, for just a moment when we first got down into this dungeon, I thought that you were using the same religion as the one that was it Michelle and I that we played. Remember with the people who the consumption who were the big fat bloated.
Oh yeah, no. That's different.
I was like, oh my god, is this like a continuance of that group?
Oh, that's so funny, actually. No, actually, the module itself calls him the prophet of consumption. Consumption being like, what did the disease, the lung disease.
Yeah.
Not consumption as in eating. Yeah, but they actually call him that in this.
It was tuberculosis.
Oh, he's the consumptive prophet, is what they call him.
Yeah.
But no, he's not part of their religion. Their religion is this is a smile religion.
Right.
Basically, it says specifically that people lock up the houses because the spiders are super nice, but whenever they say no to the religion, then they mutate. So people don't want to talk to them. They don't want to like see the spiders because they basically mutate them whenever they see them. And they're not doing it on purpose. It's just what happens when you say no to when join the religion.
But when you said consumption, that was the first thing that popped in my head. I'm like, oh shit, these guys again.
Oh, that would have been cool, actually. Yeah, no, I didn't even do that. That's so funny. I didn't put the two together. But yeah, so basically, the spiders are just happy, gross spider people, and yeah, they just want to recruit you to be in part of their religion.
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
But yeah, I don't know how you would. I actually had worked out a whole thing, so it didn't play out. So I'll just tell you. Actually, I'll stop the broadcast. Thanks for playing, guys. Again, this was Smile with us, friend from Violet. Kind of played Lamentations for the Flame Princess. Thanks, Rush and Yang, in this. And